Hello and welcome to AfterWyrd, the home of the strange, the mysterious, the downright odd news. I'm eating breadsticks, and I'm Andy.
And I'm Craig. Andy, you're still dressed in the same stuff you were wearing last week.
And so are you. We've established we don't wash.
So yeah, we've had Peter Laws on this week,
We have.
which was a fascinating insight into all the stuff he does. And I'm okay, Andy. I'm normal. Peter says so. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't
well,
specifically say I was normal, but he said it was normal to be into true crime and horror and
yeah.
paranormal.
No, yeah, it was a really good guest to have on, and yeah, I think, I mean, we enjoy talking to all of our guests, but yeah, it was a good one. Um,
Mm.
and now Craig is converted.
No, although two out of three of my weird newses are God related.
So, Goddy,
Hmm.
God-related weird news. What have you got for us?
Hitler had a genetic sexual disorder, new DNA analysis reveals.
I've heard the song.
Yeah, we've all heard the song.
He only had one.
Well, gets even better, mate, because it turns out he's got a micro penis.
Ah!
So,
I'm not a body shame type, but that kind of that moral high ground of mine stops at Nazis, especially the Nazi.
obviously, I wasn't referring to Hitler as God. This is a separate story. I do have some God-related stuff, but this was what I was going to start with. He had a hidden genetic disorder that would likely have hindered the development of his sexual organs. New analysis of his DNA is uncovered. He had something called Kalman syndrome, which can inhibit the normal progression of puberty, suggesting it's possible that he would have struggled to form sexual relationships.
Hmm.
The findings are set to be revealed in a Channel 4 documentary, Hitler's DNA Blueprint of a Dictator, which also debunks the myth that Hitler had Jewish ancestry and provides evidence that he probably had one or more neurodivergent or mental health conditions. Scientists were able to build the DNA profile from a sample of blood-stained cloth that a US Army colonel had cut from the sofa where Hitler took his own life in 1945. While the research and its outcomes are likely to provoke controversy, the lead geneticist said that while she was conflicted about taking on the project, she wanted to ensure it was done properly. Professor Turi King, who identified the remains of Richard III, said, "I agonized over it, but it will be done at some point, and we wanted to make sure it was done in an extremely measured and rigorous fashion. Also, to not do it puts Hitler on some sort of pedestal." She added, if he had looked at his own genetic results, he would almost certainly have sent himself to the gas chambers. Stories from the First World War suggest that Hitler was bullied over the size of his genitals with his genetic condition, meaning he had a 1 in 10 chance of having a micropenis.
Damn.
A 1923 medical examination uncovered in 2015 showed that Hitler did have an undescended testicle, which backs up what Andy's saying.
The song does not lie.
And it does say, giving surprising credence to the derogatory wartime song about him.
But if it was hadn't yeah, if it was tucked up inside him, it couldn't have been in the Albert Hall.
Exactly. Alex J.K., a historian at the University of Potsdam, who specializes in Nazi Germany, told the documentary that this could help explain his highly unusual and almost complete devotion to politics in his life. Other senior Nazis had wives, children, even extramarital affairs. Hitler is the one person among the whole Nazi leadership who doesn't. Therefore, I think that only under Hitler could the Nazi movement have come to power. The findings also dispelled the long-held rumors that he had Jewish ancestry and he was illegitimately descended from a Jewish grandfather. However, the possibility that he had one or more neurodivergent or mental health conditions was not ruled out, with some of his genes overlapping between conditions. Analysis of the likelihood that he had autism, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder placed him in the top percentile, but it's unclear which, if any, of these conditions he may have had. I mean, he was also off his head on like meth, basically, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So,
ketamine and yeah.
um, but yeah, it does say Alex, I don't know how you say that. It's like Sompanidis, I think, is an autism researcher at the University of Cambridge, who said, I think it's fair to say that his biology didn't help. I don't think any clinical term applies here. We can't know, we can't diagnose. The cognitive process is likely to have been affected, but I use his behavior as much as genetics when I say that. Um, However, the group of researchers are keen to ensure that their findings are not used to stigmatize people with any of the conditions indicated in Hitler's DNA. Behavior is never 100% genetic, said psychologist Professor Sir Simon Baron Cohen. Associating Hitler's extreme cruelty with people with these diagnoses risks stigmatizing them, especially when the vast majority of people with these diagnoses are never violent or cruel. Many are the opposite. And yes, we do not mock people for the size of their genitals generally, but it is Hitler, so in this case.
Yeah, just yeah, just Hitler. We make an exception of Hitler. In the great words of a small German child.
Fuck off, Hitler.
Did you like that film?
I did.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. But yeah, it was like slated by most people, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I quite liked it. Okay, I should probably get some weird news. Okay, ready for it? This one is from Lad Bible. Back to Lad Bible.
Do you write for them now? Are you on commission or what?
Um, so woman claiming to be Ozzy Osbourne's secret daughter sent Sharon toenail and blood in the post.
Wow. Was wait. Sorry, unsolicited is this, or is this
I guess we'll find out.
okay?
The late and great Rocker's family said she is absolutely convinced that he is her father. A woman insisting that she is Ozzy Osbourne's secret daughter, um, is insisting that she is Ozzy Osbourne's secret daughter. The late Rocker's family revealed. They were talking about it on their podcast. The Prince of Darkness passed away on the 22nd of July after suffering a heart attack. For the first time since his death, his loved ones sat down to film an episode of the Osbournes podcast. Although obviously there was the notable absence of Ozzy. Sharon spoke about being overwhelmed by waves of grief. She sat down alongside her children, Jack and Kelly. Talk among the trio then turned to an outpouring of love they received since Ozzy's death. It's just been overwhelmingly wonderful. However, the Osbournes matriarch did admit there is one person the family prefer to stop receiving correspondence from. A woman who is absolutely convinced she was the Black Sabbath legend's secret love child has been sending his relatives an array of bizarre items in the post. Kelly told listeners, we've had quite a few nutters coming out of the woodwork saying they're speaking to Dad from the grave. Sharon then chimed in, we had one lady send us her toenails.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though the
So
parcel
yeah.
alone would be gross enough, it turns out the mysterious woman also sent bodily fluids. It was a toenail, some blood, hair, because she's absolutely convinced that she is Dad's child. Sharon explained the woman's mother had apparently told her that Ozzy was her father, to which Jack jokingly replied, so we need to do a DNA test. Oh, this is so exciting. We've got a new sibling. Kelly then went on to say she finds it severely inappropriate when people claim to be talking to her late father beyond the grave. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So she didn't just like turn up to his funeral being like, fuck.
Father! No, apparently not.
Would have been slightly less appropriate than sending bodily fluids in the post.
Yeah, still in that realm though, Speaking of like talking to the grave, Jack's doing a lot of like supernatural and paranormal stuff now.
He has been for years.
Yeah, but he's sort of stepped. I think they've sort of stepped it up a bit. Like a lot of the other stuff that's he was doing seems to be on hold. That's because I know there are a few of them. It was just like him getting the footage of stuff and just playing it to like Ozzy and Sharon, wasn't it?
I don't know. I've never seen any of it. I used to quite like Jack when I was watching the Osbournes.
Yeah.
And I used to like he had a series called Adrenaline Junkie, which was quite fun.
Yes.
That was when he was trying to kind of get out and in shape and stuff, and he was doing a lot of rock climbing and like extreme sports with some
Yeah.
friends, which I think I've got on DVD somewhere. Um, it was quite fun. So
Uh,
yeah, if he wants to come on the podcast or take us ghost hunting, I'm sure you're listening.
obviously a listener. But yeah, so guess we'll keep an eye on that saga, see if it turns up anything. I can imagine they probably threw it away.
Quite possibly. I mean, the one easy thing for them to do would be to just test it, right? I mean,
Trouble is, then every other fucker who wants to claim it and just use get in the limelight a bit is going to send it to him. Be like, oh my god, this woman sent it in and they actually tested it. I want to see if Ozzy's my dad.
also, I wonder what they're planning to get out of it. Like, so even if it was
Money, I imagine.
confirmed, mm, I guess.
Give me some of that estate.
Mm, I don't know. That's weird. You don't send bodily fluids in the post, people. Although, if you want Andy's address, he lives.
Oh, but I will give it to witches.
Yeah, we will hex you.
So, yeah, what else have you got for us?
Oh, I did say I was going to talk about God, didn't I? Because you
Oh
reckon I'm
no.
recently converted.
Welcome to Weird Evangelical, where Craig's going
It's
to
just
talk to you about
some,
God.
just a couple. No, there's just a couple of articles I came across this week that I think yeah, I was going to do them last week, but I figured like they fit quite well as we've had Peter on.
Yeah,
So this is from
um,
the Standard.
standard.
It's just a standard article, yeah, from the Standard. Is God real? This bestseller says yes, and that science can prove it too.
Is it the Bible?
To be fair, the Bible is one of the best-selling books.
There you go.
A book that has been a bestseller across Europe is about to be published in English, and the authors are betting on it being a hit here. It's God, the Science, the Evidence is written by a pair of French engineers, Michael, I think that's Evis Bollard and Olivia Bonassis, I think. It has already been published in several languages and sold an astonishing 400,000 copies, according to the pair's literary agent. However, Bollard comes from a well-known family in France. His brother Vincent is a billionaire right-wing media mogul nicknamed the French Rupert Murdoch. And according to newspaper La Presse, the book's success in France was aided by a vast promotional campaign. Yeah, the authors seem to feel that scientists have been rather churlish in spending so much time looking for aliens rather than dedicating even a fraction of effort to exploring the hypothesis of a creator god. Other theories that serve as evidence for God date back centuries too. In an update on the 19th century watchmaker analogy, the book argues that DNA structures are so complex that they must have been designed by an intelligent creator. I think you kind of get the point. These are all things we
Yeah,
all know about, but they're saying that they're evidence of God. But I don't know. I mean, it's the old argument, isn't it? That kind of if you have something like the Big Bang, right? And we go, well, we don't know what came before it, therefore God. But then what created God, right? Like where does God exist? Where does God
yeah.
come from?
Always
Like
was.
it doesn't answer, it just adds more. It doesn't, I'm not saying it's not, but yeah. Um, let's just sum up with the last paragraph, shall we? Because it's a long article. The authors argue that more scientific evidence for God is found in the fine-tuning argument. The hypothesis goes that if any of the physical constraints of the universe, such as the strength of gravity or the speed of light, were even slightly different, then galaxies would not have formed and life as we know it would not exist. And the chances of this precision, of all these dials being randomly tuned to the exact right level, are so infinitesimally tiny that perhaps it wasn't a random act at all. Perhaps there was some almighty power on the decks. But the problem is, we know that life and big bangs and things can happen because they did.
Hmm.
So adding God to the equation doesn't prove that God exists. Like the
Yeah,
idea
it's
that we're in the Goldilocks zone of the universe and all this is like, well, the answer to that is God, or it just happened so many millions and billions of times around the universe that one day it got it
eventually it's
right.
gonna, yeah.
Eventually, if I throw my shit at the wall, it'll form a painting, right? I mean, or it's the monkeys and the typewriters analogy too, isn't there?
That's it. Eventually you're gonna get Shakespeare.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think they're arguing anything new, despite kind of say that their book proves the existence of God. I don't think it does, but there you go. That was a waste of our time and me.
Yeah, well, it's people will try. It's interesting, talking about the evangelical and, sort of very rich people getting interested in religion. Because it is, there's a certain branch of religion, and Peter mentioned we were chatting to him about, sort of the differences between certain branches of the church, like compared to like here in the States. And you get those like super churches, the mega churches, the ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And someone actually did someone recently on TikTok did a little experiment where she had a recording of a crying baby in the background. And she called up a bunch of churches and asked some baby formula, not money to get it, but some baby formula. And she was saying, I can come and pick it up, but can you get me some, please? My baby's really hungry. We haven't got any money. Please, can we get some baby formula? And so many of those mega churches and the big they turned her down. They were like, yeah, we don't do that. Or one of them, we do have a food drive scheme, but it's only for our members, our
Mm,
subscriber members. So like if you
yeah.
pay us money to be part of our church, our premium plan, sort of churchgoers, you can have access to this stuff. And I think there was
Mm,
like a couple of churches and like a Buddhist temple and a mosque that were like, oh yeah, yeah, we've got some for you, come down. Or and one of them was like, sort of if you can get here and we don't have any, I will buy you some. And then she'd reveal like, well, I'm actually doing this as a social experiment. And like the mega churches got so mad, you know?
did she name and shame them?
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Mm,
Yeah, she was recording herself doing it, and she was
yeah.
like saying what church it was. And some of them just literally hung up on her.
Mm,
Yeah, but none of the mega churches helped. But like when people were suggesting they go and help people after like natural disasters, like they were like saying, why should we? And like the pastors that run them have like their own yachts and planes and shit. It's vile.
pasta.
All right. That's my little rant. Um,
And another thing.
and another thing. So this London landmark actually farts when fireworks are set off near it.
So do I.
Yeah, it's a nervous thing that he does. One of the capital's landmarks appears to make a farting sound every time a firework goes off in East London. The 6,000-seat Olympic Velodrome was built for the 2012 London Olympic and Paralympic Games, but fireworks night might be the hardest of all. Since the 2012 Olympics, the 95 million Velodrome has become part of a lasting legacy, continuing to act as a hub for local and international cycling. The design of the building is compact and affectionately known as the Pringle. But now it seems like the venue has a new track to fame, with the sounds of flatulence echoing after fireworks are reflected in its timber ventilation system. Um, Many made fun of the sounds on TikTok. One user commented, God forbid the velodrome has an upset tummy. One other said, Velodrome is an IBS girly. Another user commented, must kick up a stink at New Year's. The lightweight double carving cable net roof structure was designed to reflect the shape of the cycling track. The steel frame structure sits on a glazed concourse at entry level and is clad in timber with gaps to allow for natural ventilation. The ventilation means there's no need for air conditioning, while its snack-shaped roof collects water used to the building's many public conveniences. It's pretty clever. A spokesman from Lee Valley's Velo Park told Metro, "We've not heard it ourselves, but the structure could be sending sound waves bouncing and dispersing unexpected ways. So when a firework goes off, the building might be reacting with a little sound quirk rather than an echo." Um, and it's not the only sort of bit of architecture that does that. I mean, St. Paul's Cathedral in the Whispering Gallery, due to the specific curve of the dome, a whisper made on one side of the gallery can be heard clearly by a person standing on the opposite side, 110 feet away. Need to try that out at some point. El Castillo Pyramid in Mexico. When you clap your hands at the base of the ancient Mayan pyramid, the sound echoes like a chirp of a Quetzal bird. Also, the sound of you walking up the steps sounds similar to rainfall. And Beetham Tower in Manchester. Apparently, it's famous for emitting a very loud, unintentional hum or howl when it's windy, and be heard from a large area. And the architect even apologized for any noise disturbances. It's quite interesting. I remember seeing a video completely unrelated to a building, but and it's more to do with the speed of it, but there are these planes, A-10 Warthogs, like sort of and they used them a lot in the Gulf War, but they've got this really, really fast like cannon, like rotating barrel cannon on the front. And when you like see footage of them in battle or like on a firing range, like it'll be flying over and you'll hear the shells impacting in the ground, whatever it's shooting at. And then about 3 or 4 seconds later, you'll hear this like that, almost like a little farting noise.
Mm,
And that's the sound of the gun catching up. You know, the shells are going so fast, you hear that,
yeah.
and then like yeah, about sort of 5 seconds later, you hear the noise of the gun actually firing.
Mm.
But yeah, there is a video I can play. Sure.
That just sounds like someone's doing the old armpit.
It does. It's a bit farty.
Yeah, no. As I say, it's more armpity than anything.
Yeah.
Now, you say that building was Pringle shaped.
Yeah, the roof is.
Mm. What's your go-to flavor?
Oh, I like um sour cream and chives, quite a good one.
Thought you would do. Thought you would.
What about you?
So I quite like a ready salted,
Ready sorted second, it's close second.
or I'd probably go for a paprika. I like a
Paprika's also a
paprika.
strong choice. I just
Mm.
find the cream cheese and chive ones are a bit more Moorish. Although ready salted's very Moorish.
Yeah.
Also, can we just appreciate that farts are always funny?
Oh, they're hilarious.
Unless
That's
you
why.
are unless you are in a car on a road trip with Craig.
Rude.
All right, you got one last bit of weird news for us?
I got a story from the Metro that's God related.
Excellent.
Um, yeah, I got a story from the Metro, and it's film related. I know you like to do a little film bit
All right.
normally. So, Nicolas Cage's Jesus horror movie is the most profound film I've seen in 2025.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see that. Well,
According to
it's not out
Tori
yet, but
Brazier. Brazier? I don't know.
mm,
Brazier?
Brazil.
Doesn't get, the more I say it, it doesn't get any better, does it?
Easy for you to say.
Um, there's a horde of people ready to be outraged by the Carpenter's Sons, the new horror film depicting the childhood of Jesus Christ, starring Nicolas Cage as Joseph. And while it is ominous, uncomfortable, and frightening in parts, it's also moving, deep, and not at all the movie that they think it is. It's basically based on the apocryphal. Is that the right way to say
Yeah,
that?
the
Apocryphal.
childhood.
Yeah. So it's based on the apocryphal Gospels of early Christians, as explained at the start of the film. The carpenter's son depicts events in the early life of Jesus. Um, as something not officially covered in the Bible, it perhaps allows writer-director Lofty Nathan more freedom to explore the reality of what historically this could have looked like. Here, Jesus is called the boy. Uh, don't know why I found that funny. Um, yeah, here Jesus is called the boy who lives with the mother and the carpenter, which is Nick Cage. And it says names are neither used or necessary. They live a transient life, protecting their son from those who perceive him as a threat, including King Herod, who has soldiers out tossing babies into fires in Bethlehem in a bid to eliminate them just moments after their birth and the film start. That's dark, isn't it? But I suppose
Mm,
it's the Bible for you. We did
pretty dark.
talk about that with Peter a bit, didn't we?
All right.
Um, Eventually settling in a remote village in Roman Egypt, the family is under constant strain considering what the boy may be and how his powers are manifesting. You can see why Nicolas Cage would be attracted to playing the Joseph figure, as the carpenter's son doesn't shy away from the tensions between him and the boy, who he knows is not his son. Yeah, he's a devout figure like his wife, but harsh and struggles with the test he must believe he has been given from God as a husband and believer. Um, Says the film is accent blind and it's slightly jarring to hear Cage speaking in his usual drawling American tones while the rest of the family is British, especially when the language is more archaic. But the welcome Cage freak out moment to add to the YouTube compilation is reliably present too, when he screams at his wife that his faith has been shattered in an acting decision that manages to somehow be both 100 miles an hour and also perfectly judged to match the pain of the moment. Um, ba, 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 ba. Again, quite a long article, but
That's all
yeah,
right.
it goes on. The Carpenter's Son is genuinely profound movie that deserves to be considered on its own merits and break through the noise being generated by naysayers expecting to be insulted by something they have not yet seen. I think many would be surprised by the film they want to classify as controversial. Which is true. I mean, you can't complain about a film you haven't seen.
All I'm going to say about the naysayers is forgive them. They know not what they do.
Yes, sure.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's on my list. But yeah, might go and see Predator Badlands actually tonight. But
I was disappointed to find out that is what, 12A, I believe.
oh really?
And then it's like, yeah.
But yeah,
Nothing's come close to the original Predator, has it?
nah. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for us today.
Yes, I believe it does.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, what's up next week?
What is up next week? Fuck, what is next week? Krampus, probably? Is it Krampus? It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
we're getting
Krampus.
into Christmas season. Um, with everyone's favorite Christmas character,
Um,
Krampus.
oh, I see. I thought it was Kevin McAllister.
Ah, I was going to say Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Is it a Christmas film though, Andy?
Happens at Christmas. Fuck it. Yes, yes, yes. Right. On that note, I've been Andy. He's been
I,
Craig.
I can speak for myself too, Andy. I've
Well,
been
no, because I
Craig.
spoke for you. And until next time.
Don't blame the elves.